Good morning, guys. My name is Chris, Sickwideglide. Welcome to Cruising Through on 2. For those of you that are new here, if you like the content, do me a favor, hit that like button. Also, hit that subscribe button. It does a world of good for the algorithm. It helps me connect with people like you, and it helps people like you connect with people like me. So now that we got that out of the way, on today's episode, we're going to do somewhat of a how-to. We're going to flip the fuel tank on my motorcycle. I've got a flat side tank that was sent to me by Advanblack, so I'm excited to get that on. I don't know if you guys have seen this fuel tank, but it looks pretty rad and I'm excited to get it on. So today I'm going to show you how to empty your fuel tank using the fuel pump. I'm going to show you how to make a little wiring harness to run your fuel pump so that you can empty it completely. We're also going to go through how to remove the fuel pump and the umbilical cord from the fuel tank, and how to flip it over to the new fuel tank and get your fuel tank set up and good to go. So, without further ado, let's get into this. But first, coffee. So now that we've had our coffee, let's get started. So first thing we're going to want to do, obviously, is remove the seat. So there's a couple things I guess I should preface this with. One being, I have made a jumper off camera. Let me walk this around to you. So what I have made off camera is a jumper. If you notice, these two wires here are tied together. This one wire by itself is just hanging out here. This is the ground, and these are both power. So what we're going to do is we're going to power our pump, and I want to show you guys something. Here's the connector to the fuel pump. And on the back side, we have a white wire with a yellow tracer, and we have a red wire with a brown tracer. On this side, we have a all black wire and a black with green tracer. For those of you that don't know, the black with green tracer is a clean ground, and this all black is considered a regular ground, or what's known as a dirty ground. What we're going to be using to do this is we're going to tie into the dirty ground, not the clean ground, and we're going to power both wires on this side. What we're going to do is I'm going to plug this in. If you notice, when we plug this in, these top two wires are now tied together, and they go here. And then this bottom, which is the dirty ground, it's going to go to the ground. I actually run these right off the battery, so I'll connect this to the battery positive and this to the battery negative. And in doing so, that's going to run the fuel pump. Let me bring you guys around here and I'll show you how that works. So now that you guys can see what we've done, I'm going to take this alligator clip, I'm going to put it under the cover here. Now that we've got that stabbed under there, it's just sitting on top of the battery positive, we're going to connect our connector, and then this we're just going to touch the ground. You can go to battery ground or you can go to frame ground. I'm going to go to frame ground. I don't know if you guys could pick that up, but that's the fuel pump running. So there's two things to do. One, we want to disconnect. This is a quick connect. In order to disconnect that, you're going to push this up, and this will pop out of the bottom. And when you want to go to reinsert that, you're going to do the same, just going up. And as you push it up, it'll find its hole and it'll pop in. Now, for those of you at home that need to do this, that don't have a fuel line, like I'm going to show you what I have. But you can disconnect this fuel line right here. You can pull the fuel line out, and then you can reinsert this and put this end of the fuel line into a gas can or a bucket or whatever it is you choose to be putting your fuel in. I don't necessarily recommend a bucket, but you know, I've seen people do crazier things. So whatever your container is of choice, you can run that fuel line there. What I have done, made this tool years ago. It's just a blank hose with a quick connect fitting. Install that in line here. Get yourself a 5-gallon gas can. So if you do what I did, and you happen to have yourself a quick connect and you run your hose down into your gas can, what we can do at this point, just run your fuel pump. I don't know if you guys can hear this, but I want you guys to see that once your fuel pump's running, you're just gonna let it do what it does. It's gonna run until it's empty. Now I will say that it is important, guys, it's very important not to let your fuel pump run empty. Don't just rig this up and walk away. Don't forget about it and just go about your business, because if the pump runs dry, you're gonna be in for a world of hurt. What you wanna do is hang out nearby, and once it gets down, you'll begin to see it, and you're gonna just wanna monitor your fuel level, which we can't even see it. So perfect. Anyways, now we're just gonna keep an eye on it, and we're gonna listen audibly for it to pick up some air. Once it starts to pick up a little bit of air, then that's it. We're gonna call it quits right there. Now we're full. It's funny. This is full, that's empty. It's kind of how it should be, right? At least for what we're doing. So now that we've gotten that empty, let's get the fuel pump loosened up and halfway out of there. How's that sound? What we're gonna do is we're gonna remove this retaining ring. We don't have the tool. There is a tool for this. There's a plastic tool you can buy. There's also a big metal one. Or you can use the wooden end of a hammer and use the other end of the hammer to strike, pushing this out. Or you can use this end of the hammer and place it here and strike. Whatever's more comfortable for you. First things first, we do not want to put this against the paint, and we do not want to drive this downward into the tank. We want to drive it parallel to the tank. All we want to do is knock this loose, much like this. Just like that. And then we're going to take that ring off. And then we're going to pull our fuel pump plate up and out. Once we pull this out, if we look inside of here, I know this is really hard for you guys to see, and it's hard for me to show you. That has a tab. That is the float. You're going to lift that tab and pull it back, and the whole assembly lifts up. There's a tab also for this one right here. There's a tab that you're going to lift up right here and slide the fuel pump assembly forward, and the whole thing's going to lift up and come out. Now that I've filled you in on the part that you missed, let's get back to the video. So you're going to want to disconnect your umbilical cord. You're going to depress these two tabs. There's a tab here and a tab here. Sometimes you hear them click, sometimes you won't. Just depends on the day. I find it handy to use a screwdriver at times. I just suggest you be very careful and do not drop it down into your fuel tank. So you're going to depress your tabs and pull your umbilical cord apart, just like this. This I call the umbilical cord, guys, is also known as your fuel line. It can be your inlet line, it can be your high pressure line. I don't know what they call this, but I call it the umbilical cord. It's the one that goes from the fuel pump down to the bottom side of the tank. So once we do that, if you look inside of here, I know this is going to be tough, guys, because I'm going to have to move you guys around. I know you guys will see this now, and then it'll be gone in a few minutes. I know. But what we're going to do is pull our fuel pump out after we've disconnected. Now we're going to grab our float and carefully We're gonna lift our float up and out. This can be troublesome, guys, so just understand that there is no like magic trick for this. Whoops. There's no magic trick for this. You guys might see me get caught up here because this is, unfortunately, this is normal. You just have to find the happy spot and do not force it. Never force this stuff. So once you get your float out, be conscious of that and hold on to it with your hand. And you're gonna reach inside of here. This is where it's gonna get fun because I'm gonna do my best to show you. But you're gonna reach inside of there, you're gonna depress that tab and you're gonna slide that forward, and that is your fuel pump assembly. Once you've slid this forward, it's gonna pop up and then you're gonna release, you're gonna pull the entire fuel pump assembly out. The umbilical cord that comes out of the fuel tank is very important, guys. The one that comes out that this connects to, do not take that out first. Don't even loosen it up, leave it alone. Get the fuel pump out, get the fuel pump disconnected before you ever take that off. If you take that off and get it twisted up, now you cost yourself an umbilical cord or a fuel line, and they may or may not have that in stock, and now you're screwed. So rather than do that to yourself, just do that last. All right, so now with that said, fuel tank's empty. Let's get this flat side tank in here. I'm excited. I don't know about you guys, but next step. So I'm gonna transition into that while I unbox that. Y'all don't need to see it. But next thing, a transition will be this tank coming off and that tank going on. That was the same way we took it off. That way we just put it back on. All right, so now that we got the tank installed and I'm thoroughly drenched in sweat because it's 122 degrees at 9, it's not even 9 o'clock in the morning yet. It's 8:47. I'm not complaining, just stating the obvious so that when you look at me and you go, damn, he's soaked. It really didn't take that much to put the tank on. It's just that it's that freaking hot here that there's very little airflow and I'm dying. So I hope you guys enjoyed that and were able to follow the install process. Obviously at this point, I got to put the dash back on. I'm gonna screw that back in. I gotta fill it up and plug things in, but for the most part, we're done. I'm gonna go ahead and segue my way out of this part. We're gonna put, like I said, I'm gonna put the dash on right now. You're gonna watch this and probably time lapse, but put the dash on. We'll plug everything in. We'll fill it up. We're gonna back it out and we're gonna go for a ride. That's what's gonna happen. There it is. What do you guys think of that? I'm out on the fence. I like it, but I feel like it's missing something. Like maybe I need purple knee pads here. I don't know. You guys leave it in the comments. Tell me what you think. I'm not 100%, but I kind of like the idea of some purple tank grippers. I'm going to be looking online, just so you guys know I've already been looking. I've been unable to find any, but I feel like that's what should be there. That or potentially white tank grippers, but I think white would just stand out too much and it would kind of scream in your face. Teal or purple, I think, would probably be more fitting. What do you guys think? Leave it in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this content. I hope you learned a little something. And I hope you also realize that it's not that hard to change your tank. You, yourself, at home can do it. So if you're interested in a flat side tank, or if you're interested in just a new tank in general for your motorcycle, maybe you have a dent in it and you need to replace it. Maybe you don't like the size of it and you want to replace it. It's just that easy, guys. That is a fuel pump for a touring bike only. The Softails, depending on your model year, will have a different fuel pump and it will be in a different location. Man, I wish you guys luck. Melissa and I are gonna go to lunch. Obviously, I need a shower first. I need to change my clothes. I look like garbage. I hope you guys enjoy the ride out, and we'll see you next week. All right, so here we are. Our ride out to lunch turned into one of my wife's obsessions. We decided lunch would be at Hollywood Studios today. So the truth is, I married a Disney nerd.
It's true. I'm a Disney nerd. I'm totally one of those Disney adults, and no, I don't care if you hate it. I have wonderful, fond memories of my parents taking us to Disney when we were kids, and it just became a part of my childhood. And now, as an adult, when I moved to Florida, one of the first things I bought was my Disney annual pass. Chris, not so much a Disney person, but he is by default.
I am now.
I have forced the hand and made him a Disney person. Let's go to Hollywood.
All right, let's go. Hey guys, we got fresh new merch right off the press. Check it out at wretchedclothing.com. I'd like to announce the winner of our Saddleman seat giveaway, Benny Lynn, or in this case his wife Veronica, as Benny won the seat but gave it to his wife. Seat looks great. I hope you enjoyed today's content. We did a little tank swap. We did fuel pump replacement. We ended up going to Disney today. I don't know how many of you stuck around for our Disney trip, but if you're still here watching the video, thank you. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe, click on that bell notification, and also tell all your friends and or family about this channel. Share it. Share it with your friends. Share it with your mama. Share it at the dinner table. Just share. Thanks, guys. Thank you for subscribing, leaving comments, for sharing, and thank you for just being in support of our channel. As always, guys, wherever you be, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. Stay upside, and we'll see you on the flip.